How's it going, everybody? Welcome to week 13 here. So we've sort of moved, shifting out. We've got through sort of I guess, world religions, if you will, the major ones, Abrahamic, South Asia, sort of seeing how they've where they're from, how they've spread the traditions associated with them, and now we're going to kind of continue with some other. I guess you could say. I think Polynesian religions count as a world religion, spreading all across the Pacific. Um, and so we'll do that, and then we'll kind of look at some more regional religions as well, traditions around the rest of the world as we go about. So I did get back everybody's. I looked over everyone's quiz. Good job. On the first sections, I corrected if there are mistakes there. And then the second questions. The idea of Hinduism. A lot, people were pretty good at defining kind of how that passage relates to Vishnu and the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata. Ideas of bhaktis or personal devotion. Sometimes some things I made comments on people's stuff. And again, how does this connect to Hinduism? We talked a lot about terms of Hinduism, so I was looking for things like dharma, karma, dharma particularly. Again, that's really what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. Karma, action, moksha, if you will, and then also, it is Vishnu, but we also encounter a lot of other Hindu deities as well. So that's kind of like how not just defining what that it was, but how it relates to Hinduism in general. Similar with Buddhism, the sutra there. What does it say? A lot of people. I really wanted just people to just make that connection between these sutta passage and metta, this friendliness, compassion to ideas of the Four Noble Truths, right? And then that's, and again, some people mention the Eightfold Path, but make sure that you know that that's embedded within this Four Noble Truths, right? And then the other thing too, what is Buddhism? You could explain that. What are some events from Buddha's life that got him to arrive at these ideas? So, all things we covered in the course on the textbook and things. So if you did all that, great. If you didn't, I took a couple points off, but nothing serious. I think everyone got kind of the main point of it there. And then what is the sound of a rainbow? That's a koan. There's no answer. Is whatever you answered is good. There's no right. That's the beauty of koans, is whatever you process, and then it's not about the answer. It's about the processing of the answer, which is what a koan is meant to do. And so this week we're moved to Polynesia. Again, the first lecture, I just wanted to lay the groundwork to show why. I guess, we can call Polynesia as a world religion, because a lot of ideas and traditions, stories were passed through these migrations of peoples across first the Austronesians, Lapita, and then later into from Tahiti to Hawaii, and then presumably all the way to South America, as the records show. But with them, they brought their ideas. The story of Maui, I think, is a very good example, right? And all the stories embedded with Maui, and that a lot of cultures in Polynesia share Maui stories, though they're a little bit different. Papa and Wakea as well, as sort of these deities that spread throughout most of Polynesia. This kapu system is sort of embedded in a lot of Polynesian societies have this sort of sacred and profane distinction. What is sacred? What can be done by certain groups of people, and what can't by others? And then with both political and religious distinctions, heiaus are features of that. So I just kind of like give some broad ones, but I wanted to do like more videos of people actually talking about it, who these figures are, particularly in the Hawaii section, right? And with an emphasis on Pele and hula. Hula is very much part of Hawaiian traditions. Is praises. The words being sung and acted and sort of and performed are most of them are praises to gods, to Pele or Hiaka or many others, acting out stories, scenes from these lives. And it's the way knowledge and traditions is passed down. Like the example of Kumulipo or Hiaki Kapoleo Pele, like these stories are embedded there. And then hula is the way that they're transmitted. And as people maybe are not familiar with Hawaiian history, that for a long time hula was suppressed, and Olelo Hawaiian language was removed, and that when those traditions, right, kind of went to the background. But now they're with people like Edith Kanakaole, and David Kalakaua. You got, or King Kalakaua. You have this revival. The Merry Monarch Festival is a good example of that. of the revival of hula and passing down those stories, traditions, ideas, practices, protocols. All of those elements are embedded there. So I tried to kind of do pele and have practitioners talk, particularly from the Kanak Ole lineage, since it's hilo, and this is kind of one of the areas where hula was preserved and revived, particularly at Hawaii Community College and later at Hilo, with Kakaula and the language school up there, but also the practitioners, hula practitioners at Hawaii Community College. Yeah, so that's I gave a interview from Kulani, I think, Kanakole there, and Halau Kekui, that is part of this tradition. So yeah, and then I also gave some readings of other some links to stories and ideas of that. So take a look in those, I think. And then the assignment for this week, we didn't obviously to cover everything, but if there's a story that you are particularly connected with, share it. That's one part of how knowledge is processed, particularly oral traditions, sharing these stories in your own words. And then explaining. The big thing is like what's the meaning. And if you don't know many things about Polynesia or Hawaii or Maui stories, I gave you links. You can go check them out. There's Lono, Ku, Haloa, all these figures that you could take a look at. So if you're not unfamiliar with one, read one, explain it, summarize it. But again, what I want you to kind of also be thinking about is how do you connect them? What is the message within these stories that are being transmitted? Each one has some sort of moral tale or idea. I mean, Maui stories all have, that he's lassoed the sun to tame the day. He pulls up islands. Moku'ola is which is in Hilo Bay. Is a piece of the island of Maui, where Maui himself tried to kind of pull the islands together. So all sorts of stories are embedded around here. So take a look. Anything, is it something you know, or if not, something you look at some of the sources I gave you, and then just kind of summarize it. Again, I don't need please don't make these 10-minute long. Kind of get a minute or two summary, and then a minute or two of meaning and ideas. As well. So, and you can record those right on the Padlet. I gave you the instructions. Just click on it and it'll say record, and then you can record it right there. You don't need to record it separately and upload it to the Padlet. You can just record it directly on the Padlet there. So, all right, I think that's it. Have a good rest of your week. Oh, and enjoy the Merry Monarch if you want to, and you can see some of these traditions in practice starting tonight, and then live streamed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Great. Have a good rest of your week.